In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Montblanc 145 Classique fountain pen with S nib. I'll go over the specs, I'll do a writing sample, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this pen coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. This is the Montblanc 145 Classique. This is their standard size pen. It was previously called the Chopin, and this pen, if I showed you the box, but I don't do boxes because that's boring, it had Chopin on the box and it came with a CD. The one that's smaller than this is their standard size pen, is called the Mozart, which is a really small pen, and I believe that pen is actually made out of metal, but this is sort of the smallest Classique with the injection molded body. Here you can see it with the 149, which is the biggest pen, and you can just see how much fatter the 149 is than this pen. Now, current retail on these pens is $680, which is quite a lot of money for one of these. They've made this pen for a very long time. The previous versions of this pen were called the 144, going all the way back to the 50s, and they even did a 142 back in the 50s, which was smaller than this pen but bigger than the Mozart. Very confusing. Also, the modern 144, not the vintage one, had a snap cap. So if you're looking at modern pens, the 144 has a snap cap and the 145 has a threaded cap. Kind of confusing. Okay, so this is their standard Meisterstück design. There's really not a lot to say here. It's a torpedo shape. You've got the star logo on the top. You have the standard Montblanc clip here with the little raised part, and it gets a little bit fatter towards the end, and it's rounded. There's two steps on the clip. It's a nice pen. On the side of the clip here, you can see the serial number, and underneath the clip here it says Pix. Depending on the age of your pen, there might not be a serial number. It might just say Germany. There might be something else under the clip. There's just lots of different versions. And then the cap ring, standard Montblanc Meisterstück, which means masterpiece in Germany. And this is a cartridge converter pen. Again, threaded cap. Now, the interesting thing about this pen that I have here is that this has what is called the S nib. I don't know what S stands for, but it's basically, if you look at the iridium tip, it's just a gigantic ball. My understanding is that this pen, this nib, is made for people that are used to ballpoint pens, and that's why they give you a big round ball, such that when you're writing with it, the angle doesn't matter as much as a normal fountain pen nib. And to me, this writes like a broad, maybe a double broad. Montblanc has discontinued this nib several years ago now, but I saw one of these for sale and I thought, let's give it a try. It's an interesting, unique nib, and that's ultimately why I'm showing you this pen. Now, it is a cartridge converter, and these pens come with a Montblanc converter here, which is made in Germany, and I think Montblanc has one of the nicer converters. Montblanc and Cartier, I think, make the best looking converters out there, although there was the Waterman Edson converter. I did a review of that pen. I'll put a link to that up in the corner, which is very nice as well. There's really not too much to say here. We'll look at the nib up close. It is 14 karat gold, and it says 4810, which is the height of Montblanc in meters. We've got a Montblanc M logo there, and the nib grade is not labeled on here, as is normal for Montblanc nib. Okay, let's do some measurements. Taking a look here, we're about 140 millimeters long, uncapped, 122, posted. This pen does post very nicely, 154. Then if we look at the grip section, one thing I will say about the Classique model compared to I don't have a 146 here, unfortunately, but the 146 has a shorter grip section similar to the 149 that I have here. So I do like that they give you this extra long grip section. I think that's really nice, and it's something that you don't get on the bigger Montblancs. Now, measuring that at the back here, looking at 10.3, And then there's a little collar at the end, so I'll go right before the collar, 8.3. So it does get skinnier, and in terms of the width of the barrel here, around 11 point. So looking at the weight, we're 21.3 grams, which is a nice weight for a plastic pen, 13.44 grams. So it has a good quality feel to it. It's not heavy. This is a very comfortable everyday pen. Now, in terms of the size, we'll compare it here with a Safari. Pen that I think that is very similar to it is the Clio Screedment Classic. This is, for me, like, I want a Montblanc, but I don't want something quite so showy. These pens are very, very similar in size. They have a big, comfortable grip section. This happens to be a piston filler version, but they also come as cartridge converters, and the nibs are very similar. These are really nice, soft nibs. I really like these pens sort of as an alternative to a Montblanc. If you don't want to be so showy, you get a nice, high-quality German-made pen in a very similar, comfortable form factor. Let's take a look. What else do we have here? We've got a Pelican M600, the more modern size here. It's a bit skinnier than that, but it is longer. Let's take a look at it compared to a Optima, or this is the Africa, but it's basically an Optima. Quite a bit skinnier, but it's definitely longer. Okay, let's do the writing sample. For the writing sample, I'm going to be using a Papermind Mitsubishi Bank Paper notebook. These notebooks are excellent with fountain pens, and for Blake's Broadcast viewers and subscribers, you can get 10% off with code BB10 at checkout. Montblanc 145 with S nib. Oh gosh, and I can't remember what ink this is. I believe this is, I want to say this is Montblanc Jane Austen. I think that's what it is. I don't think I spelled that right, but that's what it is. The quick okay, fast writing. Yeah, no performance issues. It's very, very nice. This nib is not particularly flexible, but you can push on it a little bit, but you really don't get too much in the way of line variation. Upside down, nope. This is not really. It is smooth, but the ink flow is not really there. You can write at a pretty high angle though, which is nice. And it's not quite as position sensitive as some other nibs, which I think is the point of this ball. It's really, really nice. No performance issues. Great pen. So what are my pros and cons for the Montblanc 145 Classique fountain pen with S nib? Well, I really like the form factor. I hadn't actually owned one of these in, I don't know, almost 15 years, I want to say. And I was surprised by how comfortable this pen is. It has a very long grip section, a longer grip section than you get on a 149 or 146. And it's quite lightweight. It posts well. It's very, very comfortable. I'm normally not a fan of skinny pens, but this is really nice. And the build quality here is excellent, excellent fit and finish. There are no visible seams, even though it is injection molded. You know, you see those seams on a lot of the Japanese pens, but they're not present here, which is really good. I like the S nib. This is a weird nib. It's got a giant ball on there. It's a really wet, round ballpoint, and it just has a really nice writing experience to it. In terms of cons, the main con is that they have stopped making this particular nib. I would say if you're considering the regular Classique, try to get a used one. They've made so many of these pens. Thousands upon thousands of these pens have been made. So paying $680 for a new one I don't think makes a ton of sense. Also, you know, the design of this pen, it's very iconic as a Montblanc, and some people really hate that. So I know that's a negative for some people, but I like this pen, but that's pretty much it. Do you guys have this pen? Do you like this pen? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, and until next time.